And we are live with session 19 of our Drowned Gods game. And this time, no weird things to cover early at the beginning, so we will get started, as always, with the Ocalupu news report.
Ocalupu is trying to find where he put it.
Ocalupu is very distracted. He's too busy trying to punch a fish out of the ocean.
Yes.
To bother telling us what happened the day before.
Ocalupu is also trying to make sure that this is the correct one. Yes. The great hero wakes up wondering who is stealing food. People begin fixing boat and making food. Wizard and witch look tired as if they had been doing things in the night. Suspicious. Wizard bird is back. Ghost is looking at us. Wizard attacks ghost for no reason. We defeated the ghost and wizard almost dies. Wizard is healed. After a week and a half, the boat is fixed, and even without food, we leave the island to keep away from the ghosts because they are scary.
To be fair, Mom and we just had very aggressive, hey buddy.
and then yeah, it was Friendo, and then was going to cast an attack spell, so
Maybe we'll never know because he never got the opportunity.
You had already declared your action, and that is what caused us to roll for initiative. So, just saying, you did not evidently disguise your intent to cast destructive magic very well.
Or I could have just been socially awkward.
Well, I think it was and we're very socially awkward. All right. Anyone want to fill in the blank spots and give more detail for a hero point? Also, everyone reset your hero point pools to 1.
Resetting. So the only detail I can think of that was not mentioned is that we found out we cannot take off our rings, and the rings are what is theoretically drawing the ghosts to attack us. Because they were going after our preciouses.
Yep, that ghost seemed very interested in your rings.
So this may be a journey-long hindrance unless we could do something about these rings.
Hey, you don't need all your fingers.
Ocalupu needs all his fingers.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely not option A. Let's try and think of a better plan before we go around chopping fingers.
Or you could just join the mob and it'll happen regardless. All right. So yeah, Ocalupu and PPOB, give yourselves a hero point.
Yay!
So we pick up, as Ocalupu said, just after you'd escaped the island. The ghosts were getting rather rowdy and were starting to converge on your location. You decided, yep, we're not even going to bother looking for food. We got nothing. Speaking of which, everyone pull up the ship sheet if you don't already have it up, because we're sailing again, so it's going to be important. Let me delete where it says food, and if you need to find it, it's under journal and your boats. Yeah, so I will delete that one storage slot that says food, because no, there's no food in there. Y'all ate the food that was stored in there. And yeah, you guys are back on the open ocean. Also, I should say that technically you are here, not below the island, just for your keeping track while we're navigating, because technically you're at the island. So keep that in mind. And it has been a while since we sailed, so I would imagine people would appreciate a refresher on kind of how all this works.
Yes, please.
All right, so while sailing, each of you have your individual roles. PPOP, you are the navigator, so you are going to be the one who is rolling to chart your course. You are the one who is steering most of the time. You kind of do that somewhat in shifts. And you are also generally the one who's been rolling like weather and stuff, since you're already doing the rest of those rolls to navigate. And I'll get to the whole weather and everything in a minute. Then we have Sammy, who is the quartermaster, so she would be in charge of supplies if you had any. You might want to get on that, because you got a few days back to Outset Isle on the best of occasions. So she is in charge of food and supplies. Right now, obviously, pretty much your only supplies are food. She can, however, use one of her spells to create water. So you are set in terms of like not dying of thirst on the way back. Then we have the storyteller, or diary keeper, who is Ocalupu. So that's why he's been very kindly keeping a nice little diary of events. And we finally have the captain, who is in charge of kind of overseeing things, and then in combat has a bit more of a role. So that covers everything.
Oh, does that mean there's going to be ship combat?
Yep. So that's why, so if you look on your, one of your slots is weapons, none. That's because your little outrigger has no mounted weapons. You absolutely can get a boat that has weapons mounted on it, like a ballista. If you had a large enough boat, you could have a catapult. At some point, if you progress technology far enough, you could have cannons and do some proper pirating. But
Hell
at
yeah.
this point, ship combat would largely just be the navigators steering, right? And then people on board, throwing rocks or shooting at each other with bows, or swimming aboard and, trying to beat each other to death with clubs, that sort of thing. Which Ocalupu is already excited about. I can just hear it.
Ocalupu's squirming in his seat. Let me at him!
But yeah, so if we were in combat, the turn order is the quartermaster goes first and is in charge of doing repairs to the ship and then buffs. Navigator goes next, and then whoever rolls higher gets to move last, meaning that you get to react to what the other person did with their move, right? So that's preferable. And then during combat, you do any attacks. And then the captain can act in any phase to give a buff. They can either roll Intimidate or Diplomacy. It's a DC 15. And if they succeed, they give whoever they're trying to buff a +2 to their roll in that phase. And then that bonus is increased by 1 for every 5 by which it exceeds the difficulty. So for example, with the DC 15, if you were to hit a roll of 25, that would be 10 higher than the DC, so instead of a +2, it would be a +4. You can only act in one position each turn, so you can't be like, all right, I'm going to do a quartermaster thing now, and then I'm going to do a navigator thing in the next turn. You can only do one thing per round. But at the start of each phase, you can move to a different position for free. So if we get into ship combat, I'll go over that again. There's that. Anything else before we get to weather and stuff? You guys are in charge of the map. So you guys place things. Jason has got this system with the circles. So green means you know for sure it's in the right spot. Yellow means you're pretty sure it's right. And then red circle, I think, Jason, you were putting on for stuff where you're like, well, this is our guess on where the heck this thing is located.
Exactly.
And then I am separately keeping track of a map that is like the actual position of things. And so that, I think, covers just about everything for now. So let's get started on sailing. Again, remember that you are actually here just for your navigation checks. And let's see what the initial weather is. So, Jason, I need a 1d100 to see how the weather is setting off. 84. All right, so you guys would have rather waited, but unfortunately the ghosts gave you little choice and you have shoved off into rough and stormy seas.
Oh no.
Let's see what the wind is like. So again, another D100 to see what the starting wind is. All right. right, that is a 60. So the wind is somewhat favorable.
I was really scared it was going to be like completely not.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been. So yeah, with a 60, it is somewhat favorable. So you're getting some amount of help in going where you want with the wind. Also, you cannot travel diagonally because that's just going to become a whole mess for trying to navigate things. So your direction, that means that the wind is blowing south-ish if it's somewhat favorable. So now let's get a navigation check. So that's going to be your survival, Jason, to try and get yourselves headed the right direction.
Okay.
And then are people going to try and row to help?
Well, we have no food, right?
Yes, you have no food.
Well, I crit failed.
Oh no.
Oof. Oh yeah, that was the other thing. We had decided that I was gonna roll the navigation checks.
Oh, right, so that doesn't count.
Yeah, so what is your bonus?
+7.
Alright, that should hopefully not have shown up for you.
I don't see anything.
Alright, so the storm is just whipping around you, rocking your boat rather dangerously, and you would have, again, much rather waited until the storm had cleared, but the ghost gave you very little choice of the matter. Manawanui is definitely scarred from life from what happened, because like it grabbed him, stabbed him a million times with its weird centipede legs, and then started crawling inside of his skin. So I know I would be scarred for life.
Just a Tuesday.
This is just what my life is like, man. I already have so much emotional pain and sorrow that nothing can hurt me anymore.
But if anything, it feels better because, like, now I feel on the outside what I've always felt on the inside.
Yup. Alright, so
wait, are we trying to get home because we know where home is?
that is a good
to...
question. So where are you headed? You've gotten on the sea. And you are now, like, you've gotten far enough away from the island that you're pretty sure the ghosts are not following you, because they did start kind of like floating over the water towards you at first. But at a certain point away from the island, they just, like, it looked like they ran into an invisible wall, basically.
Oh.
So you guys are now safe-ish, but in very rough and stormy seas without food. So we'll just pick up from there.
So yeah, seems like we should probably head home to restock and, you know, be regaled as heroes for our adventures in the spirit realm.
Yeah, and you do know that that the key that you've got with you will get you past the guardian that murders anyone who tries to go over to Outset Isle. You don't know anything else about that because you chose not to go talk to the person that Reginald had run into in the center of the maze that was the original owner of the key. But you know at least the key theoretically is supposed to get you past the guardian without being murdered.
Yeah, that seems pretty, like, solid. So we're going home? Anyone opposed?
Nope. Ocalupu likes food at home.
Home food, here we come. All right.
All right, so you're navigating north then? Or are you going to go west first and then north?
West and then south, right?
Correct. Yeah, I said the wrong thing. No, you're just gonna head up, you know, come on, switch to the measure that direction into just empty space. It'll be fine.
Yeah, we got a 4-day adventure ahead of us.
Well, sort of, because you can't do diagonals, so you can only go cardinal directions with your boat. So you'll have to go like here to here, or here to here, or technically here to here to here to here to here.
You figured out how to do it. What's the button?
Right click.
Ah.
Yeah, earlier I was doing that while Manawanui was making the pentagram to summon his pet back. I did like that.
29 days. I say we do it.
But yeah, so actually you have a 5-day journey ahead of you. Because like I know it would be more realistic to do diagonals, but if we do that, navigation is going to get very confusing to figure out like what square are you in, right? Where did you actually go?
That makes sense.
And because there's already unsurety, because like you guys are just rolling navigate and I give you like a degree of certainty of where you actually are, I don't want to introduce more weirdness.
Well, you said winds are southward winds.
The winds are favorable. Whichever direction you're going, they are slightly favorable.
Oh, so then it doesn't matter. We'll go this way first then.
Cool. And then if you remember on your ship, it says that your speed is below average, I think. That's what it says. Where's speed? Speed. Slow. 50% of average. Average is one. So average is 1 square takes 1 day. As slow, that means 1 square takes 2 days. If you want to row, you can do 1 square in 1 day. But without food, that's going to quickly exhaust people. Like you'd be fine for now, like for a day, maybe 2 of rowing without food. But after that, it's going to start becoming an issue.
Well, I vote we start to fish.
In the middle of
In the
this storm.
That's when they're biting, don't you know?
All right, well, you have sharpened sticks or jumping in and trying to grab them as your only means of fishing. So
I kind of forgot there was a storm.
all right, so are people rowing?
I strongly suggest, Captain, that we row until we're out of this storm.
We had breakfast, right?
Yeah, like I said, you're fine for now. We'll treat today as if you had food before you left.
Right, we just
But
had
then you
crab
have
meat.
no stores.
Alright, not Monolinui, Ocalupu. Take up the right oar and we'll row.
All right.
Get through the storm.
Let's see. What was there a good skill? I forget what we had you guys run last time. I think it was strength, but I usually prefer not to roll directly on stats. Do any of you have like profession sailor or anything like that that would be useful?
No. Let me see.
I doubt it.
So probably athletics, I feel like, is the most applicable skill to rowing.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
That sounds
Who likes that?
That sounds like a thing that someone who rows a lot would be athletic.
Seems fair.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get athletic rolls, see how your rowing does, and see if it's the same as last time where it results in you just spinning the ship in circles because Ocalupu is outpacing Manawanui by so much.
Probably. What did you get?
Hold on, I'm rowing.
Why don't you just hit the button?
Because I've already started typing.
Nice.
Oh no!
All right, Ocalupu, can you make up for that?
That's a crit fail.
Was it
Yep,
good that I make
saw
up for
it.
that? Because I got 27. I rolled a 17 and I have plus 10.
All right, so Manawanui, let's roll something here.
Oh dear.
All right, so you start to row, and you just like don't understand what you're doing and you start just like only rowing when the waves are down so that like your oar is going through the air, and you start falling over and you probably get hit by lightning at some point, and then a splinter from one of the oars stabs you right underneath the fingernail, and you take 9 points of damage.
Oh.
Ocalupu does all the rowing for both of you.
There we go.
So yeah, you guys will be able to do a full square today, and you are fairly confident that you have traveled 1 square to the west. So yes, that would put you here. Why can I not? Here we go. There. All right, so you do that for the whole day, and the storm seems to continue to rage, even as nightfall is upon you. But similar to last time, as you were getting somewhat close to the island, as the light begins to fade even further than the obscuring clouds already had caused to happen, you see a faint purple glow some distance away from you, to the southwest. So not like a whole square away from you, but that direction from you.
Wouldn't that be the
Southeast.
southeast?
That is correct. I am bad with directions.
Got
north backward, that's why I clicked. I was like already starting to doubt that I had said the right thing. So yes, southeast of you. And
do you still have that? But wait, does PPOP have the key?
Yes, PPOP has the key. However, the rest of the crew, not Manawanui, but everyone else, does recognize this purple glow and should know what it is.
Beats me.
It's the
I don't remember what
It's
Ocalupu named it
the-
either. The gross, it was like gross something, like gross rubberfish or something along
Oh,
those
the big
lines.
jellyfish.
yeah, the glucus fish, the glowy
Gluck-
yucky moss fish.
That's it, Glucus. It is in fact the Glucus. At least you would imagine so. It's that same purple glow.
Maybe we can eat it.
I was gonna say, is it edible?
So if you remember from last time, it itself did not seem edible. However, it had multiple fish trapped in its tentacles. I think they're still called tendrils. Is it tendrils on a jellyfish, not tentacles?
I think so.
Yeah, so it had multiple fish trapped in its tendrils that you could potentially have gotten. But at that time, you weren't hurting for food all that much, so you chose not to mess with it.
Right.
That's a weird glowing purple light over there.
Ocalupu isn't just going to be like, it's the Glucus!
It's the glucus.
What's a glycus?
You know, the giant glowing yucky moss fish.
Oh, is it an edible fish?
No, but it has fish. It has fish that it catches for us.
I think it's worth going to try and catch it and take its prey.
Do we really want to
It'll-
try and fight that in this storm, though?
I
And it would
mean,
make it take a lot longer to get home. That's a big detour.
but from what I understand, the storm won't let up until we get past the barrier.
The storm has nothing to do with the Guardian. The storm is just
We just rolled that.
yeah. The Guardian
Oh.
the Guardian was described as being a powerful creature who would destroy you. And what Reginald relayed to you was that the person in the maze that he had run into was one of the previous shamans of the island, and that the shaman had instructed the guardian to keep basically just like destroy any threats that try to approach the island. But had failed to actually describe what constituted a threat. And so the Guardian had taken that to mean anything that could pose a threat. And so that's why, if you hadn't already put it together, that's why you've been sending people off to explore islands and no one has ever come back.
It's not like
because if they try, they get attacked. And the only reason that Reginald was able to come back to the island was because he had cursed himself to grow old, so that he was so weak that the Guardian did not consider him a threat and let him pass without the key.
I see. For some reason, I thought it was like a giant storm surrounding the island.
No.
No,
so remember there was the magic that you had been detected while you were exploring the caves, and I said that it moved, and it was not like it had moved relative to the island.
Yeah.
That magic that you were detecting was the Guardian, and that's why it moved, is because it patrols. Like, it's not stationary. And that's also why the key seemed to have a similar magical aura to the thing that you were detecting off in the distance.
Okay. That all makes sense. I get it.
Can I say something real fast? So Thomas, I sent you some files, including the Gluckus for the map.
Right. Let me drop that in. Gluckus. Come on. Okay, I guess I have to download it first. Save the image. Unable to save image preview.
It's weird.
Save. Open original. Now save. Alright, that finally worked. I don't know why it was making that so difficult. And I'll drop that on the map for you guys. It's huge. Alright, feel free. Let me give everyone control of it. Controlled by all players. Alright, you guys should now be able to move the Gluckus as you would like to.
I have us originally having found it east 2 squares from the main island. So I think there. Because that'd be 2 squares, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, there we go. That's all.
Sweet.
Alright.
So back to arguing about what to do next. It's dark, night has fallen, you can see the purple glow.
Still stormy.
It's still stormy.
How about we just go to sleep? Ocalupu's tired from rowing the entire boat by himself.
Rowing aside, one of us should always stay up to keep the boat on task, on
Course.
what do you call it? On course. There we go. Thank you, Ocalupu.
And then Manawanui, you can take your rest now. Or I guess, I mean, if you sleep, you'll get your stamina points back regardless.
Yeah, I figured we sleep in shifts. One of us would stay awake during each shift of the night.
Yeah. All right.
I could take first watch.
Sounds good. Then Manawinu, then Ocalupu, and then Samuel.
Yeah, or we could just have Manawanui take all the other shifts because he's an elf and he only sleeps like 4 hours a night anyway.
I vote that one.
Well, he still needs some sleep.
Yeah, so
Nope.
PPOP takes the first shift, and then Mono Inui takes all the rest of them.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, sounds good.
All right, cool. So, yeah, you guys spend the night. The purple glow does actually grow larger. Are you trying to, like, do you take in the sails and try to stay mostly stationary, or do you continue to sail through the night?
Are you talking to Mono Inui or
I'm
PPOP?
tired of the group. What are you doing?
Oh, I say we should just stay on course, and if the wind blows us further in our direction, then yay.
Right, but are we trying to get home or are we trying to get to the Gluckus?
I thought we were trying to get home. But we decided that that'd be too big of a detour.
All right, so you are
Ocalupu's going to sleep.
you're continuing to sail west then through the night.
Yes.
Cool. Then yeah, so throughout the night, the purple glow does slowly become fainter and fainter as you do get away from the thing. So day 2, let's get a roll to see how the weather changes. So another D100 roll. All right, 81. It is calmer and wetter. So at this point, the storm is becoming less stormy. It's calmed down, so the waves and the wind are much lower. However, the sky remains overcast, and a constant downpour just soaks you and chills you to the bone.
Bom, bom, bom.
Wind goes down, so that would put you at where are we? Here we go. Gusty with some rough patches. And then let's get a roll to see how the wind changes. All right, an 83. So on an 83, we re-roll the wind entirely. So let's get another D100 to see what the wind is now. Another 83. All right, 38. You gave him loaded dice? All right, so with an 83, the wind is now somewhat unfavorable. So it's not completely against you, but it is going to make progress without rowing pretty difficult. You're going to be going quite slowly. All right, day 2.
Well, I vote that we still sail on our course, but we don't row today and try and get food.
Sounds good.
All right, so yeah, so you guys go throughout the day. You'll be making about a half a square of progress. Let's get
What was the weather again?
The weather is now rainy, but not stormy.
Got it. And there was no wind, right?
There is somewhat, so there's gusty wind with some rough patches, but it's not like a rough, constant windy seas. You're no longer being like threatened by every wave that comes over you.
Cool. Sorry,
All right,
go ahead.
so people are looking out for food. Let's start with the navigation check from PPOP. It's gonna be, oh yeah, I roll that. It was a +7, right?
+7, exactly.
Oh, I rolled a 1S20. That's not gonna do much. All right. So update your actual position. All right, and I would imagine PPO or not PPOP, Manawanui and Ocalupu are just like looking for fish to stab or other ocean life, right?
Yes.
That is
So
correct.
Let's get a couple perception checks. See if you spot anything.
Perception. Gotta find perception. There it is. 12.
Quick question.
Mm-hmm.
So, can I use Discern Secrets? Which says that I can call upon my patron's power to uncover secrets. When you cast a spell, the target can recall knowledge, seek, or sense motive. The target gains +1 status bonus to the skill or perception used for the roll.
I don't really
I don't know
see
if
that
that's,
being
like, really
applicable.
applicable.
Yeah, I don't really see
Okay.
that as being applicable. I would imagine that's more like if someone is trying to hide something specifically. So
Okay.
I don't really see how that would help with a hunting roll per se.
Can I electrocute the water?
Yes.
Oh. Perception. Oh, there it is. I think they moved it.
I agree. I'm pretty sure it used to be somewhere else.
I got a 10.
All right. Y'all are too hungry to look for food.
Y'all suck.
All right, and let's get a 1d100 for a random ocean encounter. Seems like a good time for that.
Sorry, is that me?
It could be
Oh, I
whoever.
just rolled it.
All right, 36. Hi, you get 2 things.
Yay? Question mark?
All right. So the day passes uneventfully. So you are now, like I said, we're counting it as you having eaten yesterday. So you are 1 day without food. And the night comes on. I would assume it's the same plan as last time. Continue course and
Yes.
go through the night. Also, don't forget you did travel half a square. So if you want to move your ship and only do like a half square, what you do is you hold Alt before you let go, and it'll let you do a partial square like that.
Aha.
All right. So the day passes uneventfully. The night goes on. You set up your usual shifts and retire hungrily to bed. And then let's get another perception check from PPOP first, because you're on first watch again, I would imagine.
Rolled a 27. Let's
Nice.
go.
All right, so at a certain point, you suddenly see a rather odd sight. A bunch of the stars in one of the directions off to your north just disappear.
Well, that's no bueno.
And then you hear a whooshing noise, and then these huge waves start to rock the boat. Well, not huge, but large. And then as you're looking, trying to figure out what the heck is going on, you eventually make out an enormous humanoid figure. It seems to be some just like unimaginably large giant striding through the ocean with the water only coming up to about its hip.
Could that be the Guardian?
We about to die.
Is it
Alright.
coming at us?
It does in fact seem to be growing larger.
Okay, I better hold up my key just in case. Make sure he sees it.
All right, you're not going to wake anyone up.
You know, we don't need to panic. I'm just gonna deal with this myself.
Yeah, there's just like a giant figure who's large enough to walk.
Yeah, but what's anyone else gonna do that I'm not gonna do?
Fair enough. Hopefully not get crushed. That would be bad. All right, so it comes closer, and eventually you realize that it's actually not walking on the ocean. It seems to be floating. And it continues to get closer, and eventually you start to be able to pick out some details. And it seems to be humanoid from about the waist up, but then below the waist it has basically like it ends like a top, right? So it just kind of like it makes a cone and then ends about where its waist should be. And it is continuing to tread through the water towards you at an alarming rate before reaching you, and you're just standing there holding the key out, I guess.
Yeah, now I'm starting to get worried, and I'm starting to be like, guys, what is this thing?
And then you see it it points both hands vaguely in your direction, but offset to either side of you, palms out. And then you see something comes out of the hands and splashes down into the water, and then you see two tracer lines of water being disturbed, and you wouldn't recognize this in character, but out of character in a way similar to a torpedo wake, and they start racing toward your boat.
Oh!
Goodbye, cruel world.
All right, still not waking anyone up?
No, I'm screaming. I'm alarmed.
Another one who's gonna wake up and kind of like look off the edge of the boat, or look around the boat.
All right, so you guys look out, and quickly you also see these wakes sending out a trail of white foam behind them with that reflect the moonlight, rapidly approaching you. And before long, they are about like 10 ship lengths away from you, and you can see that it seems to be some sort of gray metallic like dorsal fin sticking out of the water.
Quick, Ocalupu, turn the boat. Get the oar.
Ocalupu gonna try to do that.
All right, you turn, but they immediately correct course and continue to track you.
Oh, that's nice.
All right.
I'm gonna try to cast prestidigitation on them.
All right, it does less than nothing. Prestidigitation can't be used to attack people.
No, it can use to like lift things, can it?
They are, yeah, up to like one bulk.
Oh, well. There you go.
All right, so I thought I actually made a map for just the ocean stuff, but I don't see it. Did I archive it? Nope. I guess I'm making a new map.
Anything magical about these things coming to get us?
Are you going to spend 3 rounds using Detect Magic?
It's an innate spell. I don't know if that makes a difference.
No, you still have to spend the same amount of time to use it.
Well, I guess I don't think I actually have much time.
Let's see. Here's a canoe. Come on. Oh, that's a premium asset, so I can't use that. You guys are a rowboat. Let me move you over to this map. Can you guys see?
Yes.
Yes.
Let me make
Looking good.
the background color blue. I really thought I had this set up already. Switch this over to controlled by you guys. All right. So you guys choose your heading. We'll say that the oars are pointing backward. So like front is toward the east currently.
Oh, cool.
But aren't we on west?
I'm just saying the way that the boat is currently facing, not that it's correct. I told you to set your heading.
Oh, I see.
All right, so round 1. We're gonna actually do some ship combat. So, first up is the Quartermaster, repairs and buffs. So Sammy is going to try and like fidget with the sails and get you guys a little bit of extra speed. Let's see what she can do about that.
Ah!
What would that be? We'll do survival because she's Quartermaster. That makes as much sense as anything to me. All right, and 11. She is not successful. So next up is going to be the Navigator's turn. So you are going to roll off against these sharkpedos. And we'll see who gets to take their action first.
I'm assuming I'm just rolling a d20.
No, this is going to be the same as your navigation check, so it's going to be survival again.
Oh, I see.
Which one?
23.
Nice. All right, and then let's see what they get. $20. All right, so you win. So you get to act second. So your ship is slow. So that gives you a movement speed of 15. They are, spoilers, not slow. And this is going to be the same as like on land, so that's like 5 feet. It's not feet, but each one that's 5. Honestly, we should just do it by squares. So you have 3 squares of movement. I feel like that makes more sense. Oh, do you guys want to do squares? Or we could actually, for boats, it might make more sense, do a hex grid. Let's see, hex. There we go. What do you think? Hex grid?
I like the hex grid.
And so
I think
then
that makes
Fancy.
sense.
yeah, and then you can move, so 3 hex grids, like you don't have to be like, all right, well, if I want to go at an angle, then I have to be like, let's see, then I have to be like, do the measurement. I'm on the measuring thing. There we go. Like here to here, right? Instead, with the hex grid, you can actually move more freely. So you're just like, all right, I go that way, 3 squares, right? Or 3 hexes. All
We
right.
have 0 projectile weapons, correct?
You could throw stuff at them. You could throw Mono Wanui at them, and then he can just like shocking grasp them.
There you go.
Shocking grasp in the water. It's gonna be great.
Good shark.
All right, so They lost, so they're going to move. They are not slow, so they are moving 6. They are in standard speed. Once they get close, they've been traveling much faster, but now that they're getting close, they seem to be like slowing down to be able to maneuver better. So they can move 6 toward you. So one of them is going to go here. And then the other one is going to go to there. All right, so that's their movement. Jason, you have 3 squares of movement. And you have, on your boat, you have perfect maneuverability because you're small. So you don't have, like, you can turn however you need to move. If you were in a larger boat, then you would start having worse maneuverability. So, like, if you were in, say, something that has, like a, I don't know, a caravel or something, you would have to move 1 square before you could then turn yourself.
Fancy, fancy.
And then if you were in, like, a galleon, you would have to move multiple squares before you could turn your heading. So you don't have to worry about it right now, but technically, because your boat, you would need to be like, all right, well, I'm going to go at an angle. You would need to first turn yourself to face that direction. So, like, you'd be like, all right, I'm going that direction. And then you could go to that square. But again, like I said, you don't have to worry about that yet. Okay, I don't know what the difference between those two is. We're just gonna leave it there. All right, so have you moved? And Jason, if you're talking, you're on mute.
I was most certainly on mute. Yeah, we're just gonna. I did move us just directly away from them.
Cool. All right, so that brings up the final round, which is the combat round. And I would assume that Ocalupu and Manawanui are both in the combat stations, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Real quick. Do I get to go through and re-prepare my spell?
You would have had a chance to do that last night,
Oh, okay, cool.
but you should have done that already.
I forgot that I just don't have all of this, like, on hand.
Blah, blah, blah. Well, I'll let you get away with it this time, but you can't always just be like, well, last night I would have prepared this very specific thing that I didn't know was going to happen to us.
You see, I would have prepared the shark killer, but, you know.
the shark repellent bat spray.
Yeah. Just in case, you know.
Right?
You just never know.
Alright, so what are you doing in your combat phase? You want to try and chuck something at him? And then combat phase, technically everything is rolled at once and it all resolves. So, like, let's say you both had 1 hit point left and you both hit and did more than 1 hit point, you would actually both be destroyed.
Oh.
So, unlike normal combat, all damage is considered to be resolved at once at the end.
That's interesting. I can cast spells, right?
No, witches can't cast spells.
Like,
I'm sorry, I'm being sarcastic. Yes, you can during ship combat. On the combat turn, you can cast spells. If you had a bow, you could shoot the bow. If you had a rock, you could chuck it at someone. If you could rage and turn into a shark, you could jump overboard and start trying to bite people.
I'm going to cast what's it called? Shattering Gym at this feller.
All right, what's the range on that?
It doesn't have one, which is why I picked that one. Oh, it's touch. JK. I'm not gonna cast that.
I was gonna say that doesn't sound right.
Hey guys, I gotta step away for like 5 minutes. I'll be right back.
Okay,
Oh
cool.
dear.
It'll probably
Actually,
take
let me
5
see if
minutes
I-
for them to resolve the combat. So
Stop that. Just want to see how far they are. Okay, they're out of range of most things. Let me see.
also, each grid square is not 5 feet.
How far is it?
Let's see. So that's your boat, and it takes about a square and a half. What's the normal size for one of those boats? Probably like 15 feet. So let's
Maybe.
say, I mean, everything is like rough distances, so we'll call it 10 for now. All right, if you measure
Okay.
again, it should actually show those as 10-foot squares now.
Oh, it does. It's about 90 feet out. Nope, that's 30 feet. There was one. Oh, I'm gonna cast. Dispel. Wait, is this? For Dispel Magic, would that be something I cast out of turn?
No, Dispel Magic has a 2-round cost. So you would have to have prepared it. So you would have to be like,
Okay.
all right, I'm making a prepared action to cast Dispel Magic if I see the mage try to cast a spell, right?
But I can't, like, if they're a part of a spell, I can't make them disappear by casting it. If that makes sense.
I mean, if they were part of like an illusion spell or something, like if these are spell effects, yes, you could try to use Dispel Magic on them.
Okay. You know what? I think I'm actually going to use one of my actions to transfer Shattering Gem to Reginald.
What is Reginald's speed? Because I think it's gonna be a while before he goes 90 feet.
Oh, it's only 25 feet. But can I do that for, like, future?
Yeah, you could do it now to have him like sail 25 feet from the boat. You just wouldn't be able to deliver it on this turn.
But he could deliver it on subsequent turn.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to do that. And I think that's about it. I mean, I could put my hand in the water and electrocute it.
Yep, you could. There's no way it would hit them from that distance, though.
Yeah.
Do you still have your favorite spell, the ice beam? Doesn't look like it.
I do. I don't have it prepared.
Terrible.
I think I. Yeah,
That's what you get. All right, that's.
I know.
All right, that's all you can do then. All right, Ocalupu, what you gonna do?
Ocalupu. Does Ocalupu know how to turn into a shark?
You become more shark-like when you rage, but you definitely don't just like know how to turn into a shark.
Let's see. Where's my... What does my ring do? I've got it written down somewhere.
Yeah, one of them still has prestidigitation. I don't remember what you rolled on the other one.
Yeah, I wrote it down somewhere. I just have to figure out where I wrote it down.
You were asking where on your character sheet you could put it. So did you put it in the description or something on Hero Lab?
Acid splash. That's what I have.
There we go. You splash a glob of acid. I'm looking back in chat. That's where I found it. That splatters a creature and objects alike. Make a spell attack. If you hit, you can deal 1d6 acid damage plus 1 splash acid damage. On a critical success, the target also takes 1 persistent acid damage.
I feel like I probably can't get that far enough.
I mean, you can. It's just going to be hard. So it's going to be... the roll is going to be 1d10 20 plus your like you don't have a spell casting stat, so we'll just say it's a sorcerer spell, so 1d20 plus your charisma bonus plus I think that's it, or dex, whichever one you'd rather use. I guess dex makes more sense since you're not an actual spellcaster. So 1d10 20 plus your dex, plus your base attack bonus, which is just your character level, I think, in 2nd edition.
It's a +1 is what I have for my dexterity.
All right, cool. So it's going to be 1d20 plus 4 because you're a 3rd level character.
Okay.
I'm back, by the way.
Cool.
Why not?
Welcome back. And then the range, does anyone know what the range on Acid Splash is?
I can look.
Hey, nat 20.
Nice. All right, it hits regardless on a nat 20. So you splash one of them with acid for, what was it, 1d6 plus 1 persistent?
Sounds like what you said.
You deal 1d6 acid damage plus 1 splash acid damage, which doesn't matter because they're not close enough for the splash to do anything. And then on a critical success, they also take 1 persistent damage. All right, let's get that 1d6. Roll some damage. Oh, you already did 4. All right, you do 4 points of damage to the shark boy.
Nice.
Which is more than 0. And then he takes 1 persistent. So it's actually 5 points of damage. And then remind me on their turn to give him, and I'm assuming you're hitting the top one?
Yes.
All right, cool. So this guy, is there an acid thing I can put on him? There we go. Acid. Close enough. All right, so that is combat. So that wraps us back around again. So, Quartermaster, Sammy is going to try to actually give everyone a buff, or to give the speed a buff this time.
Real quick. Can I have a spot that indicates where Reginald went? Since I sent him off the boat.
Come on. Dude, stop. Do what I want. Okay. And you should have control of him already.
Does not. Yeah, maybe.
You're
Oh,
measuring. You gotta switch
Yep.
back to the
Yep.
selector.
Nope, I don't want the boat.
Alright,
Do not
so
want the
she's
boat.
going to try that again. See if she can give you a buff to speed. That's more like it. Alright, so, at least I'm assuming that's what you want. Captain, you're supposed to be kind of coordinating things. What do you want Sammy to give a buff to?
Speed. Definitely speed.
Okay, cool.
Real quick, I do not think I have control over Reginald.
Let me see. What does it say? Yep, controlled by no one. No idea why. There.
You think I'm a nobody?
Now you should have control.
There we go. Thank you.
All right, so she's increased your move speed by 1 square, so you are now at 4 instead of 3. So now it is the navigating turn. So Jason, you are up.
All right, let's do this.
See what these sharks
Do
get.
we want to continue to run away from them, or do we want to try and come around this way? That way they can't come at us both at the same time.
I only got a 16 that time.
All right. So you're acting first. Sharks won.
So we got to boost the speed. How far does that mean we can go?
4.
Should we split up from Reginald or go with Reginald?
I feel like if we split from Reginald, then he can kind of get him from behind. Maybe try and get him flat-footed if we can flank with him. Can we flank with a bird?
Flanking is not a thing in ship combat.
I think I still like going this way. Maybe we'll get the sharks to split up.
Same.
I'm gonna sacrifice Reginald. Hope that one of the sharks eats him. Keep in mind one of the skills that you have, Mono Anui. If they try to eat Reginald, you're taking all that damage.
Oh, he'll be.
All right. So next up is their turn, and they are going to continue to track you. So one of them goes to here. Another one goes to there. All right, combat. So top shark takes 1 more point of damage from the acid.
I see it.
Oh yeah, he's tripping balls right now. I guess given the direction they turned, they would be setting.
Ooh.
All right. Well, if nobody on your team is going to do anything, I'm just going to have the sharks attack you.
Oh, I didn't know it was my turn.
It's combat.
Yes.
If you're
Well,
in the
I thought
combat
that-
station, then it's your turn.
Well, I thought that it was still we had to take turns among ourselves.
No, because since everything is resolved at the end of the turn as if it happened all at once, just whoever wants to do something, if they're in that station, once it's that station's turn, you do stuff.
God, my bad. I want to splash them, or try to splash them with acid again.
Sure would be nice if the
Oh wait, no wait, I
it wasn't a once per
That's
day.
right. Dang it. They're probably way too far away for me to I don't know, throw anything at them, right?
You can definitely try. They're around 60 feet away from you right now. 60, 50.
Seems like a long way to throw things.
You can try though. I think this and improvised weapon, like just throwing a rock at them or something, has a 15-foot range increment. So at 60 feet, they would be 3 increments past the first. So it would only be at a -6.
Yeah, that doesn't seem worth it. I don't really have a lot of extra things to just throw at them.
You have a bunch of rocks you picked up.
but I like my rocks, okay?
Okay.
Think of the
I'm
greater
attracted.
good.
I'm fine. I will take one of my white shiny rocks.
You're not gonna throw the blood ruby?
No, no, I'm definitely not gonna throw that. That's mine.
Have you been
what do I
feeding
need to
it
roll?
blood? It might be getting hungry.
I mean, crab blood.
It doesn't like the crab blood.
Oh well. I don't think we've killed anything with like red blood.
Yeah, which that's what it wants.
Yeah, I don't think we've really killed anything.
I mean, you could have been sneaking out at night and, killing puppies to
Oh,
feed
I
it
have
their
been
blood.
feeding it blood. When all of the times that Mana Wanui keeps getting hurt, I go over and while I'm helping him, I, just like clean him up a little bit with the rock.
Have you actually?
A little bit.
How much a little bit?
I mean, like, I don't know, like maybe less than an ounce every time he gets hurt.
All right, well, I'm sure that won't become important later. All right, and it's just going to be another ranged attack, so it's going to be the same as your acid splash. 1d20 plus your dexterity plus your base attack bonus, which is not called that anymore. So I think it's just... Actually, can you...
22.
On your weapons, do you have
Yes.
one of these you could throw? Probably. Club. And I think there's a way to say ranged. Yes, there is. So your ranged throwing is a +6.
Cool. Can we add that to my 18 I just rolled?
Yes.
Cool.
All right. So it's a +6, so it's actually +0 because of the range, range modifier, because you're throwing it 3 range increments past the first. So it's actually just a straight 18. So your rock does hit the target, but it seems to bounce off without doing anything.
Lame.
Just kind of dink.
Banger.
I have a question.
Yes.
I have a spell called Phase Familiar. Would that be like a spell I cast in preparation? Or is that like a spell I cast if he gets attacked?
Well, let's look at it. Phase Familiar. So you see how it has the little loop arrow as its action cost? That means it's a reaction.
Okay, cool.
So that means it happens when it's triggered by something. And the trigger, if you read that section, says your familiar would take damage.
Okay. Cool. Alright. I am going to cast Message
All right.
at one of the sharks.
Yo mama's so fat.
No, alright, so tell me if this works. Can I cast that in combination with the feat? Because I have
What
a feat called Batman, and it's where I roll diplomacy against the will of a foe, and inflict a penalty to will saves and perception.
Let's see. What is this? Come on. Okay, it takes 1 action. Yeah, you'd be able to do that. I mean, they can hear you. You could just use the feat.
Well, then I'm gonna use the feat.
All right. So, do they just roll? See. No,
I
you
have to
roll.
roll.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you're rolling against their will DC.
And it's plus my diplomacy.
So you roll a diplomacy check.
Okay. I got a 20.
All right. They seem completely unaffected.
Okay, my mama joke wasn't good enough.
All right. So, next round of combat. So, Sammy, what buff do you want from Sammy?
Can she buff combat or no?
Yeah, she could give one of you like a +2 on your combat roll.
I feel like it's still more useful in speed, so we'll do it for speed.
All right. She succeeds. All right, so you get that extra square again, and then PPOP. See if you can beat the sharks this time.
I forgot to move Reginald, so that's just what I was doing.
Nat 20. We got a 27, baby. Let's go.
Nice. All right, that definitely beats their 16.
Where are you gonna go? I'm gonna juke ya.
So they're going to continue straight toward you. They're going to go there 6 squares. That gets one of them here. And the other one is actually right up on you. All right, your turn.
Oops.
All gonna be fine.
Regroup with Reginald, right?
Yeah, that sounds good, because it's got a spell I want to use. But it's on him, not me now.
Oh, I forgot to do their combat rolls like both times. Let's see. I'll just do the one from the last round.
Well, they don't need to fight. They're lovers, not fighters.
Alright, luckily that first guy missed you. And the second guy missed you. Alright, now we're to this turn's combat roll.
Oh dear.
So they're just gonna try and hit you twice again.
They suck.
Alright, so one of them... So they've been leaping out of the water and shooting laser beams out of their eyeballs at you. And one of them this time like goes to do that, and maybe it's like its eyeball laser was cracked or something, but you see one of its one side of its face just explode. It's that's the one with the acid on him, so he's gonna take some more damage.
And that's why you should do your stretches in the morning.
All right, and the other one still misses you. So no, so far these guys have Stormtrooper aim, thankfully.
All right, now that they're actually in range of everything I can do, or at least some things, I'm gonna cast Command and I'm gonna command the healthy shark to run away.
Run away.
All right, and what is that? Another like will save thing?
I believe so. Yeah, saving throw is will. DC 19.
All right, it is completely unaffected.
Dang, are you kidding me?
I think it's a robot.
It's a
I don't
construct.
think it takes commands.
You can't use mind affecting spells on it because it does not have a mind to affect.
Is it a mind? Yeah, dang. Dang.
Well, you tried.
It was a good plan.
I'm gonna have Reginald move here and transfer Shattering Gem to this one.
Alright, so you already cast a spell, which is, what was that, a 2-action spell?
Yeah.
So you don't have the action economy left to do that.
Isn't it though, like Reginald?
No,
is
so
doing-
Reginald has 2 actions that he can
Yeah.
use, and then you are casting the spell through him. So, like, you can get him to go up and touch them, right? And then you use your actions to cast the spell through him.
Can I move back?
You still have an action left, so you can use that action to move back, because he has 2 actions every round.
He's going to run away.
Cool. Alright. Ocalupu?
I don't want to throw my rocks, and it doesn't
Come on,
do
Oliver, do
anything.
it further.
No, they bounced off. It didn't do anything.
Because they were like 100 feet away.
Yeah, well, they're not that much closer now.
They might be.
Hey, I threw a good shot. It just, the rock is too small.
Come on, Ocalupu. There'll be more rocks.
No, these are special rocks. I love them.
Can I have command on Ocalupu?
Sadly, no.
Oh dear.
So, you now see approaching you the robot that was at a distance.
We gonna die, boys. Ocalupu votes that we run away.
Run away! All right,
it's just
Ocalupu,
FF.
are you doing nothing for your turn?
You just
Yeah, Ocalupu just like
zero.
stares at the giant robot and just kind of like
Ocalupu
maybe
wasn't standing in puddle before, but now he is.
Guys, quit the dungeon. We need to just quit the dungeon.
run away. We made a mistake. Reload last save.
All right, so next round, Sammy is gonna try and give you guys a buff again.
Yes.
Succeeds. All right. Is that by... Oh, that is enough, actually. So that's a raise. 2 raises? Yeah, that's 2 raises, actually. So she is going to give you 2 extra squares of movement.
Love that.
And that is Sammy's turn. So next up is the...
MVP here.
Next up is the navigation check. See who goes first.
26. I rolled a 19 that time.
Go.
All right, so let's see the sharks. Sharks continue to suck.
Get wrecked.
Let's see the robot. All right, robot goes last. So sharks, then you, then robot.
Oh my god.
All right, so sharks are just gonna like come up on you again. One is gonna go here, and then one's gonna go here to try and like close you in a little bit. I hate that the little measurement things are the same color as the background. I'm having so much trouble finding them. All right. So you are up next, Jason. You have 5 squares of movement.
Okay, here's a question. Can I save my move action for the combat stage? Can I prep a reaction to try and dodge their attacks and have them mistakenly laze each other?
So if you want to make a check for a trick, you can move and then like do a juke, and we'll count that as like increasing your ship's AC, so it makes it more difficult to hit your ship.
But I can't like try and line them up so that they get hit by the robot mega laser.
You could, but you would need to very much impress me with the roll. So let's get it. Let's get a navigation check. See what you get. Or I guess that would be part of your last one. What did you get? A 26?
Yeah, 26.
All right. So you can move, and I will say that if he rolls a miss, he will instead hit the sharks.
Cool. Cool.
So where are you moving to? You'll need to move somewhere where that makes sense.
Yeah, I guess we'll try and move like 3, 4, 5.
That works.
So over here.
Cool. And let's just shift everyone over a few squares first. Just put
That makes sense.
here, here, and the robot goes here. All right.
Okay, so we're going here. So we're like just about on the opposite side from the robot.
Cool.
Put him in the way of
Line of
any
sight.
attacks.
Sounds good. All right, and now it is his turn. So he is going to move to here. All right, combat.
That's Ocalupu.
Sharks
It's
are going
still
to continue
too
to
far
try
away.
and hit you with lasers.
Um,
Oh no, wait,
I-
that was their navigation bonus. Oh no, that
I'm
was
gonna
right.
use.
These sharks suck.
Well, I think
They're
that might
miscalibrated.
might help. I have Shattering Gym, which let me read it to you. Hold on. A large gem floats around the target in an erratic pattern. The gem has 5 hit points. Each time the creature strikes the target must attempt a DC 11 flat check. On a success, the gem blocks the attack, so the attack first damages the gem.
That's a thing
Then
you
if-
want to cast on yourself. It protects you.
Does it? Oh,
Sounds
I thought-
like. Or no. Oh, if the gem is reduced to 0 hit points, it shatters, dealing. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
So basically, like if you hit it, on a success, the gem blocks the attack, so the attack first damages the gem. So it blocks 3 it blocks 5 damage, but when it explodes, it deals 8 damage, or 1d8 damage in a range. So against a single target, that's actually a bad trade, because you'll probably do less than hit 5 points of damage
Yeah.
on the 1d8. So if the other shark were in the square directly adjacent to it, this would be useful. Or if the 1d8 rolls more than 5. No, because each square is 10 feet, so the other shark is more than 10 feet away from it.
But still damage that shark.
For 1d8, after blocking 5 points of damage. So if you roll higher than 5 on the 1d8, then you have done extra damage. If you don't, then you've actually protected it.
Wait.
Damage that you were doing.
It blocks its own attacks.
Let's see. Each time a creature strikes the target, which is the person you've cast the spell on, the target attempts a DC 11 flat check. On a success, the gem blocks the attack, so the attack first damages the gem and then applies any remaining damage to the target. So it's going to block 5 points of damage before it explodes. Because when it hits 0, that's when it then does the 1d8 slashing damage in a 10-foot area.
I thought it was the creatures attacked.
No, so it's when a creature strikes the target. So when you attack it.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Let me see if there's anything else I can do. Not necessarily. I mean, you said the other shark is. Yeah, because you said that's. Yeah.
Always do shocking grasp.
Can I cast that through Reginald?
It's a touch spell, isn't it?
Yes. Okay. So then that's what I shall cast. I got a nat 20.
Nice.
So it's a total of 29.
Alright, so that's a crit. Does this have any crit effect? I don't think spells do. No, they don't.
I don't think it does.
Or no, it does. On a critical hit, double the initial damage, but not the persistent damage.
Oh,
and these things are made of metal. Since you've been asking about ghosts and things, if they're made of metal. So these are made of metal. If the target is made of metal, you gain a +1 circumstance bonus to the attack roll. You already critted, so that doesn't matter. And they take 1d4 persistent electric damage. So you're going to do 2d12 doubled. So roll 2d12 and we'll multiply that by 2. And then you'll also do a persistent 1d4.
Okay, so 12.
2d12 and you only rolled 6? Yikes.
I know.
Yikes.
And which one? You were... Okay, you're doing the one that's over by Reginald.
Yeah.
Alright. And then a persistent 1d4, so let's get the 1d4 to see what that is. Two.
So that's 14 this turn?
Yep, and then he takes 1 more point of acid, because that's still going on. And that's also, I think, the one whose eye exploded. Yep.
It is.
So you actually have done enough damage that this guy is down for the count.
Woo!
Hey,
I still gotta get away from the evil robot.
All right.
The big evil robot.
So the giant robot, its eyes, like its whole like chest area, has this like giant circle. I mean, basically it looks like the Death Star. Not that your characters knows what that is, but that starts doing Death Star type things, charging up a giant laser beam. And that's the end of the round. All right, so Sammy's gonna try and give you buffs again. Critted it, nice. Oh, that's +7. It should be 27 actually. So that is what?
I feel like I was gonna say, like I said, I feel like Sammy's the real MVP here so far.
I think Jason's the real MVP here so far. All right, so we're gonna move everyone over again. So let's just move everyone to like that guy's dead, so I'm gonna leave him. But Reginald is here. Robot is here, just so that there's room again. All right. I think the shark was closer. He was. Yeah. There we go. All right. So Navigation checks.
Oh boy.
Oh, and Sammy gave you 3 extra movements. You've got 6 squares this time. All right, the shark continues to suck.
No, but I got a 10.
Oof.
It's better than the shark.
And the robot got 21.
Oh no.
All right, so you're still moving before the shark, Jason. You got 6 squares of movement.
Wait, no, I rolled higher than the shark. The shark
Oh,
rolled
right,
an 8
right,
and
right.
I got a 10.
Yes, you are right. So it's going to just like block you. I think it has the movement for that. Let's see. Yeah, so it's just gonna like come over here. Try to body block you. All right, now it's your turn.
Oh boy, okay. I'm thinking of turning and heading this way. And we said it was 5, or is it 6 this time?
She got a crit, so you get 3 extra, so that brings you up to 6 squares.
Just try and juke to the side. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's as good a plan as any.
Boom.
Nice. All right. And then Robot's gonna go. He's gonna get to there.
Oh no.
All right. So the robot approaches, and the beam is continuing to charge. Now glowing bright enough to hurt your eyes. When suddenly you hear a booming voice coming out of the robot. You see the laser starts to power down. The shark suddenly like stops looking aggressive, like its eyes turn like, you know, black instead of glowing red like they have been. And then you hear a booming voice: cease hostilities, control detected. Except much deeper, but I can't do deep robot voice, so you're getting high-pitched robot voice. Just imagine it sounds like what's his face, the semi truck from Transformers.
Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
Autobots, roll out.
There we go. Yeah, it's more like that. So anyway, and the robot continues up to the edge of your boat. And says, apologies, error detected. Key was not detected at range. Are you harmed?
We're safe.
Very good. And you see the shark robot actually kind of like swims over, and he puts his hand down, and it swims back into his arm. And the other one, even though it had been destroyed, you see it after a little while starts to like, it's starting to twitch and move a little bit now. Yeah, so he says
Some advanced tech.
and so he holds out one of his hands, and there is a slot along the back of it that opens up, and it says, please input control key.
All right, I'll put it in there.
Oh.
All right, you slot the key in. Which way do you slot it in? So the thing is shaped. It's a kind of like tablet shaped, but it's got a slightly pointy end, and then it's got a flat end that has little serrated stabbies.
Pointy end.
All right, and you put it in, and it just kind of sits there and does nothing, and he just like stands there and stares at you.
Okay, I flip it around and put it in the other way.
All right, now there is a slight click, and he reacts, and he says, username and password. Username
Any
and
ideas?
password. Have you forgotten your username or password?
Recovery username.
Recovering username. Which email on file would you like your password recovery link to be sent to?
What's an email? PPOP. Huh.
Pause here.
Should we just run away while it's distracted?
I mean, I think we should take the key.
He's holding your boat. He's grabbed you and lifted
Oh.
you out of the water to get you at eye level.
Can we go back to the password?
Yes. Returning to previous menu, username and password.
Monoanui. No, Reginald. Password Reginald 1.
Incorrect. Or unrecognized username and password. Please try again.
Let me look at something.
Mono Anui, can you ask Reginald?
I'm going to I'm gonna call my bird over, try and like glean from him if I can. Nope, that's wrong. I was like, man, where's all my feet? That was on the wrong menu. I was looking at Reginald.
Put you in his hand. If I can select you.
Let's see.
There.
I am going to. I'm going to send. Am I getting anything from Reginald when I look at him?
He's staring back at you with those beady little bird eyes.
I'm going to share senses with him. I don't know if that'll help, but we're going to try.
You get a horrible headache as you are now seeing both him looking at you and you looking at him, and it's making like this mirror effect.
Nothing coming to mind though about passwords.
Nope, nothing at all. I mean, sharing senses is definitely not going to give you any password information.
I'm going to cast Discern Secrets on this guy.
All right, let's see what this does. So, call upon your patron's power to better uncover secrets. When you cast the spell, the target can recall knowledge, seek, or sense motive. The target gains a +1 status bonus to the skill or perception used for the roll, and the bonus remains as long as you sustain the spell. All right, yeah, so you can get a +1 on your recall knowledge.
I'm going to try and recall.
Seek? Because this is not technically something you recall. This is just something you don't know. So I think it would be a seek.
Then I'm going to seek.
You just at this point,
for that?
Perception, I believe. Seek is a perception skill. And yeah, it's a perception skill.
Okay, so I'd roll perception.
Yep.
Okay.
And basically this means you're like hoping that someone put a sticky note with the password on the robot's face.
I got a 14.
Yeah.
So I got a 15.
No one put a sticky note with the password on the robot's face.
Lame. Outset aisle? I don't know. Is there a button that says control, another button that says alt, and another one that says delete?
You can ask him. It's all verbal. There are no buttons.
What is the password?
I am unable to disclose that information when you are not logged in.
What is the username?
There are multiple usernames. Which one are you querying?
Most recent.
Most recent username is. Did I ever name this guy? I think I did. Jeff
Goldblum. Jeff.
I don't think I ever named this guy. Let's see. Most recent username was Genie. And Genie is like, or I guess it technically would say Jini. Most recent username was Jini. Gigantic international nosy information. I don't know.
Can I create a new account?
A new account can be created. It would not have any authorization or permissions, however.
Ole.
Only an admin can grant rights to other accounts.
What do you think, PPO? Is this sparking any ideas?
I have no clue.
Without login permissions,
Ocalupu
your
says username, Genie, password.
Username and password are not recognized. Or I guess it would be username and or password. You know, the way they say that. They're unclear about which one is wrong.
Username, Genie, password, Genie.
Username and or password incorrect.
We're still gonna get locked out of this.
Login attempts exceeded. Please wait 15 minutes. And then he just like stops responding and he's still holding your boat.
Well,
I thought you can talk to your familiar.
You can if you take the right feat. So like I think Sammy can talk to hers.
Didn't happen to take that feat now, did ya?
I don't believe so.
Alright, so 15 minutes later, it's kind of like whirs back up and goes username and password.
Username, Reginald.
Reginald is an unrecognized username.
Yeah, Reginald wouldn't have an account. He had to turn into an old man to get through.
That's right. Username
Without logging in, there are still some functionalities available. I can answer limited questions. In addition, you can log out all currently logged in users, or you can shut down the system.
Who's logged in?
Currently logged in is Genie.
Log in as Genie.
Username and password.
When did Genie log in?
Genie logged in, and this is not going to be exact number because I don't know the exact timeline, but we'll say 75 years ago ish.
Oh, dang! Oh, he dead.
He dead. You guys found his skeleton in a cave.
Oh, that's right. Do we remember
And it's probably been more than 75 years because it's been like it's been like 3 or 4 generations, which are short back in like the technology level that you have. But yes, we'll just say 75-ish years. That's close enough.
Would there happen to have been any sticky notes on him or his corpse that we recall?
PPOP, give me a recall knowledge check and very much impress me, and maybe you remember something you saw while you were looting his skeleton.
Recall knowledge. What is that?
So it depends on what you're recalling. In this case, because it's something you've seen, that would just be perception. Think?
Believe it.
I nat 20'd it.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
All right.
29.
So you, thinking back to what was on him, you found the key. You found that he was wearing clothing. I'm trying to think if there was any other useful information that you would have found on him. You notice that his bones were like broken in many places. Probably why he died in a cave is somehow he managed to break almost every single bone in his body. But no, there's no like password tattooed into his bone.
Password. Broken bones.
Password and or username incorrect.
Dang.
Password
Password.
1, 2,
All
3, 5, 6.
All right, and to go over what you can do without password and username one more time. You can ask limited questions. You can log out all currently logged in users, and you can shut him down.
Well, let's log out all users before we shut him down. So I feel like he's probably still useful to the island.
All right,
Agreed.
so you do the log out.
Yeah, log out all users.
Some users are still logged into the current system. If you log out all users, they may lose work. Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right, all you currently logged in users have been logged out.
Create new admin account.
Unable to create a new admin account. Only an existing admin account can grant admin access.
Dang.
I think we're just gonna have to shut him down, guys.
I think you're right.
Yeah, if only you talked to someone who had the username and password, you know?
Well, you know, some of us didn't know he existed. Shut. How? If we were to shut you down, how would we restart you?
You would need to physically access me and restart me.
How would I physically access you?
You would insert the key as you have already done, and then you would rotate clockwise twice.
Good to know. All right.
And you're like, clockwise?
What is a clock?
I'm sorry, I do not understand your question. Please try again in a few minutes.
What is
Thanks, Google.
clockwise?
I'm sorry, I do not understand your question. Please try again in a few minutes.
What would happen if we rotated it non-clockwise?
I'm sorry, I do not understand your question. Please try again in a few minutes.
What would happen if we inserted the key and rotated it non-clockwise?
The key can only be rotated in a clockwise direction.
Okay, well that's good to know. I don't know. I'm for shutting them down. What do y'all think?
All right.
I don't know
When he shuts
anything
down,
else we
he's
can
going to
do.
sink to the bottom of the ocean.
Oh.
So if you do it here, you're definitely not going to be able to access him.
Can you take us to the shore?
Very incomplete. What shore are you referencing?
The closest shore.
Yes, I can. With the limited commands available through without logging in, I am able to change locations.
Already.
Westward ho!
Well, Mike, southwestern.
All right.
Take us to the closest
Ocalupu
island.
doesn't know where we are.
Command accepted. And so then he shoots off. He's way faster than your boat. So we'll go back out to the map view. Oop. So this would have taken you probably about 3 days. He actually heads off. So one thing, let me roll another navigation check from PPOP. See if he notices something. He does. All right, 26. You were not where you thought you were. You had somehow gotten here. Not there. Here.
Oh, no kidding.
So by like the way that he heads to get to the island, you're like, wait, shouldn't he be going more north or more south than he is? But then he does, in fact, head in a direct straight line to the island. So that's how you recognize that you had gotten off course. And he actually, even though it should have taken you like a few days, gets you there. Like now I can't move you there. Nope, that's the island. You there and you there. Okay. So what should have taken you a few days, he gets you there by the next morning. So you are hungry, but like still generally fine. And so you roll up on the shore of Outset Isle with a giant robot, and he takes you to the nearest point, which is not near your village. Your village is on the south beach. Instead, you are on the northeastern beach, so top right.
It's probably good. You know, that might cause a little bit of panic.
Well, even though it's not near your village, one of the villagers seems to have been out hunting, and he just like he comes rolling up to the side of the beach side, and you look down to see one of your friends. Why not? It's Pawalaka. Is now standing on the shore, and you notice him because you hear the club that he was carrying hit the stones below him and rattle. As he's just now frozen with his jaw open, staring at you guys standing, like, posing on a shipboard, being carried by an enormous robot.
You know, all in a normal day's work.
We
Exactly.
gotta take him out. He's seen too much.
Holy!
He is also standing in a puddle.
Yes. A puddle of excitement. Holy crap! Ocalupu, bro! You brought a frickin' god back with you?
You know it, bro. What else would an Ocalupu like me do?
And then the guardian, his like eyes start to glow, and he says, "Threat detected." Would you like to?
Wait, not threat.
Would you like to extend your privileges as users to this creature?
Yes.
You do not possess the key, and therefore do not possess the ability to command me.
Isn't the key in this arm?
No, at this point he's given it back to PPOB.
Oh. Well, PPOP.
All right, Palaga's about to get zapped.
I mean, I think it's for the best.
We'll put the key back in.
Well, actually, he just like, because you are the one holding the key, you are considered the user with access. And I forgot to do it. He also threatened your friends back earlier when he picked up your boat. He was also about to zap them, and you presumably extended like user protections.
Leave them alone.
All right, so you do keep Pawalaka from getting blasted to the next century.
Yes, don't touch him. He's with me.
So his eyes stop glowing and wind down, and he says, "Command accepted."
Yeah, shut down.
Shutting down.
Wait. Put us down first.
He's already shut down.
Okay.
And he's like, he's no longer floating. He kind of just like drops his little like top bottom, buries itself in the sand. And he starts to very slowly fall over sideways. And he is still
Perfect.
holding your boat.
Um,
Jump, 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 jump!
wait. Let's turn it back on. We're gonna need this boat.
It'll be fine. Just jump for your life. Ocalupu's jumping.
All right, that's
Yeah,
going to be an
jump after
athletics
Ocalupu
check to
jumps.
try and jump off of the boat as he slowly falls over sideways.
Like, how slowly are we talking here?
Like crunch.
Like,
I wonder if everything's been
he's not like slowly setting us down, like slowly falling down. Like he's
26.
He is tilting in such a way that, I mean, his like falling over will not do anything, but him tilting will eventually throw you off, and he's like 30 feet tall.
okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna jump too. Dang it, I got a 13. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die.
You made it back. PPOB fell from or Ocalupu. Blah blah. Manawanui fell from a tall high place.
All right, so what did Ocalupu get?
26.
All right, let's see what Sammy gets. Sammy's fine. Is PPOP gonna jump?
Yeah. 16.
Nice. All right, just barely enough. Sadly, not for Manawadeti.
Oh, I want that. Is he still Monster?
You haven't renamed him, so.
Oh, that's great.
All right, so you are falling for about 30 feet. You take 1d6 damage per 10 feet or 5 feet. I think it's 10 feet past the first 10. So you're taking 2d6 damage. Oh, there we go. That didn't work. All right, only 3. Your stamina soaks that easily.
Good
Just
gracious,
bumps
you
and
got really
bruises.
lucky.
Yeah.
All right, so you all jump off into the sand on the beach and get off of the robot, and we will be wrapping up there. So, let's wrap up as always, and let's go with Manawanui first. What have you learned?
When you set a password on a homicidal robot, put a sticky note on its face.
Yeah, I mean, that seems like a good plan, because you definitely want anyone who walks up to the robot to just be able to then tell it to kill you instead.
Hey, as long as they don't have a key, we'll all be fine.
Mm-hmm. All right. What did PPOP learn?
PPOP learned that robots are scary.
Yeah. I was surprised you guys even killed the one shark, and the fact that they rolled so poorly over and over was very lucky.
Yeah. It was a crazy session, luck-wise.
Yeah, those sharks definitely had stormtrooper aim. And then what about Ocalupu? What has he learned?
Ocalupu learned that his little rocks don't do anything against giant sharks.
Yeah. I mean, they could have if you'd rolled higher, but you did not roll high enough, because
I rolled decently high.
Oh yeah, but the thing is, so part of AC is armor, and part of it is just like evasiveness, right? So if something is mostly armor in terms of what it is contributing to its AC, I'll just say that it like bounced off, but hit right on a miss. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, but like I got a nat 20. That was literally as high as I was Oh wait, that one was the
Yeah, that was-
18. I was almost at like nat 20. Like there was no higher I was really gonna get. So
Higher than that 20, because I assume you had a plus of something.
yeah, but my plus was was counteracted by the fact that it was like far away.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yippers.
So like
But I'm just saying,
was not worth it.
theoretically,
It
you
wasn't
could.
worth it.
Theoretically, you could have done damage with your rocks. That's
yeah, but
all
I'm
I'm
not gonna
saying.
throw my precious.
My precious.
That's a choice. I mean, if your rocks are more important than your life, then that's a choice.
Hey, you know what? If they got closer, I could start smacking them with something. But
There we go. Just rage out and start biting them.
exactly,
Biting the metal sharks.
it would go great.
I mean, honestly, it probably would have done pretty good damage. All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining me. I hope you all had fun, and